The following video is brought to you by YouTube, a company that would slaughter orphans if Google told them to.
Try this question on for size. Who chases and hugs Sonic all the time and wields a powerful hammer? Why, it's Amy Rose, of course.
Here's a fun fact about me.
Amy is actually the character that got me into the Sonic series to begin with.
When I was just a little babby, I caught an episode of Sonic X on TV.
More specifically, episode 69. Don't. In this episode, Sonic and the gang travel to this alien planet because of the plot. They mingle with the locals, which leads to Amy finding out the aliens have some kind of love spell.
So Amy's all like, shit, I want that.
And she spends the episode chasing down Sonic, trying to get him to go along with the spell.
Oh, I love this place! If you want the love spell to join you both forever, first you'll have to break this rock. Joined forever? Oh, Sonic, I know we can break it! I know it! Ah! Sonic and I will never be apart again! Here goes! Where's he going?
Now, as a kid, I had never seen anything like this before. Most media I consumed involved pretty traditional romantic beats. You know, like your average Disney movie, for instance. Guy meets girl, some stuff happens, they fall in love, they get married, and then they bone. But this was different. Amy wasn't your generic, bland female character. She was completely over the top.
Amy is a firework. She's a complete cartoon character. Nothing about Amy is subtle. This girl wears her heart on her sleeve. Amy, no, stop. You're gonna get an infection. Stop. Oh god.
Amy was the kind of character you could partner up with anyone, and it would always be entertaining because you never knew how she'd react.
One minute she's bubbly and fun, the next she's an unstoppable god of fury.
Tails is in trouble! We've got to find a way to help him!
I've got more important things to do.
Fine, who needs you?
Everything about Amy is done to the extreme.
She's never just happy, she's ecstatic. She's never just sad, she's devastated.
Something tells me you got a thing for that little Sonic fellow.
What makes you say that, mister?
I can tell just by looking at you.
Is it that easy to see?
Why, sure. It's obvious. Then again, Sonic probably has that effect on all the girls.
What girls are you talking about?
Amy is in a complete league of her own. One of the most unique leading ladies in all of gaming.
Or at least she was.
See, it was a real shock as a kid when I found out that nobody really liked Amy at the time. People thought she was annoying or psychotic and that she was a crazy stalker fangirl. But like, this was never the case. Amy always had a personality outside of Sonic. But her infatuation for Sonic is still a crucial part of what makes her so great and probably shouldn't be downplayed or ignored. Oh, how'd that get there? Everything Amy does is done to either impress or be like Sonic. He's the reason she puts herself in these dangerous situations despite her being one of the weaker members of the gang. But you know she does it out of love for Sonic and a genuine desire to do good, which is super endearing and it also makes her really relatable. She's so full of love that she can barely contain it. She's always on the move, trying to catch up to Sonic. Also, side note, people always use the fact that she hits people with a hammer to say that she's abusive. First of all, what? Second of all, and I can't believe I have to say this, a cartoon hedgehog hitting another cartoon hedgehog with a big goofy cartoon hammer is, surprisingly, not equivalent to actual real-life domestic abuse. Cartoon violence is a thing, and it doesn't matter how seriously a Sonic story takes itself, these are always going to be cartoon characters. Let them be goofy.
Goofy's the name, Speed's my game. Well, hi there, Amy. Long time no see.
Speaking of which, there's been a surprising lack of goofiness in Sonic as of late, which to me is kind of a bad thing. Now, hold on, don't take this as me saying that Sonic was written better in the 2010s because... no. But the story of Sonic Frontiers left me feeling a bit worried to say the least. I won't go into too much detail since I do want to tackle the story of Frontiers separately at some point, but the gist of it is, this is one of the best stories we've had in a long time. But everyone in this story feels out of character. To me, anyway. And unfortunately, our girl got it the worst. Amy is unrecognizable in Frontiers. She's a complete shell of her former self. There's no energy, no over-the-top emotion, no optimism, no fun. And before you say it, yes, Frontiers is a darker story, but you know what? So was Shadow the Hedgehog and everyone was fine in that game. The common argument I see in favour of the character writing in Frontiers is that the characters are maturing and developing, and... okay, sure, but one, why didn't we actually see the development, and two, why do they even need to mature? Is it because the 2010s sucked? Because the problem wasn't that no one evolved, the problem was that they regressed. Sonic is the embodiment of that rebellious, youthful energy. When you tone that down, you end up sucking all the fun out of it. Yeah, it's mature, but at what cost? Amy just isn't fun anymore because she's not allowed to be. Instead of finding a way to make a character work, they just cut out a huge chunk of it and didn't bother to replace it with anything of value. What do you mean she's not chasing after Sonic anymore? Why? It was so cute! But hey, she does fortune card readings. Don't you like fortune card readings? Personality? Who needs that? Look at the funny cards. If Amy isn't allowed to be as loud and crazy as she used to be, what separates her from any other female character? Every female character in Sonic has something to connect with, something interesting. Blaze is an insecure introvert who has trouble letting people in. Rouge is greedy and conniving, but she's loyal to Shadow and Omega. Wave is a genius with a huge ego. Cream's a naive little girl, but she still wants to help. Amy used to be something completely unique. She was an empathetic goofball who openly expressed herself and her love for Sonic. She faced impossible odds head-on so she could impress Sonic and prove herself. She chased him around, told everyone she was his girlfriend, and exploded when things didn't go her way. Now she's nice, I guess. She wants to share her love with the world, which means nothing. Like, what is she, a Jehovah's Witness now or something? Her love for Sonic is downplayed, so no more funny interactions there. She has no real flaws anymore, so she's not very relatable. She's just the girl now. And that sucks because she used to be so much more than that. Yeah, she was overbearing, loud, maybe even annoying. But there's a reason she got so popular to begin with. If every character was written like they were in Frontiers, do you honestly think they'd still strike a chord with people? I personally don't think so. We need that exaggeration, that spark of fun. You can still have serious stories, but you don't have to completely alter the characters to fit it. It's like if Kingdom Hearts suddenly took itself really seriously. Like, sure, it'd be kind of interesting at first, but you'd miss the cringe.
Say, fellas, did somebody mention the door to darkness?
Nobody understands Amy. Hell, maybe I don't understand her either. My opinions on Amy seem to be in the minority among the Sonic community, so maybe I'm the one that's wrong. All I know is that Amy was one of my favourite characters, and now she's gone. Everyone wanted her to be fixed so badly that it feels like she was never really appreciated to begin with. She was sweet, hyperactive, angry, needy, and empathetic. There's 100 Princess Peaches out there, bland, generic female characters with no personalities, but there was only ever one Amy Rose.